What it do, Dre Team? It's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with here's what not to like about Germany and the Germans. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, give the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. What we got, Jenna?
Hello and welcome to the Life in Germany channel. If you don't know me, my name is Jenna. I have been living here in Germany since 2014 and I share all of my stories, the good and the bad, and a ton of tips to help you relocate on over here to Germany. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know I love living here in Germany. Let me just put that out there first before any of you guys decide to say, go home. I know there's gonna be hate comments. That's okay. I'm learning to be a little more German and grow a thicker skin. I've actually learned a lot over here in Germany. For example, I also learned how to complain a lot. I don't want to say the Germans complain more than Canadians, but Germans complain more than Canadians. So here you have it, me complaining about 5 things that you're possibly not going to like about living in Germany and the Germans. So the first one I'm going to mention is the Germans' lack of ability to say I'm sorry, to apologize. You know when people say you have this fight or flight instinct? Well, I tend to think that Germans like to fight, and in Canada, we like to flight. We like to leave the situation. For example, if someone bumped into me on the street in Canada, they would say I'm sorry, I would say I'm sorry, and we go on our way. In Germany, I tend to find that Germans have this mechanism built into them where even though it was a mistake from the other person, instead of you also saying sorry, which granted, you don't have to apologize if it's not your fault. I've come to learn and be better at not apologizing when it's not my fault. But when somebody immediately apologizes for bumping into you because it sincerely was an accident, I find that in Germany, people just have this natural instinct to fight. Like to just say like, bist du bescheuert? Or like, you have to be more cautious or watch out for your children. You know, I find that, I mean, things happen and I'm a really nice person, I promise, I swear. And I apologize immediately when something happens, even when I don't even necessarily need to apologize. Like if my son's being too loud on the bus, I might look over and be like, I'm so sorry, like, Max, can you please be a little bit more quiet? And sometimes I'll say it in German so that they know I'm trying to, you know, like calm down my child. But you still receive these really snarky responses that don't really change the situation, do they? You know, like them telling me that I need to be a better parent is not going to make me any more successful shutting my child up in the bus. So in that regard, I'm thinking like, why is it necessary? Unless something's like sincerely going to bother you when you go home that night and be like, why didn't I say something? Do you really need to say it? I don't understand. And I find like time and time again, if somebody bumps into me, they don't say sorry. Whereas if I bump into somebody, I'll say sorry. And yes, maybe it's culture here, like people just don't feel the need to apologize as much, but maybe that's why a lot of you guys choose to fight as well, because you're pissed that they don't say sorry, and then you're like, bist du bescheuert? I can't stand when people do this in front of my face. It makes you feel like a worthless piece of garbage. You don't have to fight. Just flight. Just leave the situation. Number 2.
I completely agree with you, Jenna. You know what I'm saying? The snarky comments. That's right. Like she said, that's why people fight. You hear all these people making these snarky comments. Like, nobody likes to hear that. Her kids being loud on the bus. She doesn't want to hear, oh, you're not a good parent. You need to be a better parent. That's not going to help this situation. It's going to make her feel like crap. You know what I'm saying? When you bump into someone, you apologize. Excuse me, my bad. Know what I'm saying? And if someone apologizes to you, don't say something mean back to them. If they're apologizing, they obviously did not mean to bump into you. Right? Someone bumps into me, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. You're good. Don't worry about it. They didn't mean to bump into me. It just happens. Like it happens. No need for the need for the hand to the face. Need to be more cautious. No. You're good. But okay, fight or flight. German's gonna choose to fight. I got you. I'm gonna choose flight. I am gonna choose flight. Fight only when I don't have any other option.
Have to fight. Just flight. Just leave the situation. Number 2, phone and internet connection here in Germany is lousy. I don't know if you come from a different country and you can compare this, but I'm telling you, when you live in North America and you come to Germany, you're just like, how can this be possible? Yes, on the Autobahn, you're not going to get cell reception because you're amongst trees and there's not many cell phone towers around. But I have this problem everywhere. Cell phone reception and internet. I have this problem not only in restaurants and cafes, any indoor, sports hall or anything. You never get reception there. This is very normal in Germany. But to top it all off, the most frustrating thing for me is actually within my house. I can't tell you the number of times I have been on the phone with Vodafone support, who are absolutely lousy, by the way. Why didn't anybody tell me this before I decided to work as a freelancer and publish YouTube videos where uploading something takes hours? So yes, while it's all frustrating, there's one thing that I will mention as well, and that is the public Wi-Fi. So in Germany, it's good. I mean, just like in North America, we have free public Wi-Fi many places and a lot of restaurants and cafes, and I never had a problem with this in Canada. I would always just connect. But in Germany, it's almost like an invitation to be hacked. I will never ever again log into public Wi-Fi here in Germany. I have been hacked a number of times. The most recent time was really frustrating. That was a few years ago, because since then I have a VPN and I will never go without a VPN. I was at a cafe for a business meeting. We had both logged into our email addresses, and within 2 hours we both left both of our email accounts. They had hacked all of our email addresses, our email account, and we're sending out spam emails from our email account. This is literally one of the easiest channels for hackers to get into your computer. They can get your photos of your children, they can get your passwords, they can get your emails. So if you don't have a VPN yet, let me introduce you to our sponsor. Yes, this is a sponsor, guys, but I am serious. You really need a VPN. Whether
I'm gonna skip the sponsor.
You choose to go with ClearVPN or someone else, this is something that should be a no-brainer. It costs like cents. It's not expensive, and it's definitely worth your investment. So let me introduce you to ClearVPN today so you can get a better idea of... Now back to complaining like a real German, nah? Number 3 is that...
Definitely, yeah, I did. Internet, phone connection are definitely very important to me, because I'm also a YouTuber, so I need to be able to upload, and I need to be able to upload quick because I upload 10 plus videos a day. And so yeah, that would absolutely be a problem. I definitely understand where she's coming from with that. And the public, why just be getting hacked? Trying to log to public Wi-Fi in different places in Germany. She said that's an invitation for hackers. Yeah, that's just asking. That's just saying, hack me, please. I know a lot of people over here in America get hacked. I don't know, people are hackers. I guess you can't really stop that. They suck. But yeah, to not have good internet connection in a lot of places, or good Wi-Fi, or good phone connection, good cell reception, that would suck. I would definitely be upset about that.
Germans can often lack adaptability or the ability to be open-minded. I'm gonna open up here and admit that this is actually probably the toughest thing for me here in Germany. This is something I still struggle with, probably on a daily basis. I feel like in Germany, a lot of people will say no before they say yes to a new idea, versus in Canada, especially in my family, we are open to so many new ideas. I get excited at the thought of doing something new, of doing something different and wild, versus here I feel like I constantly have to push and pry people to accept change, even if it's just going to a different restaurant. Sometimes in a big group of Germans, I feel like I'm standing there and I'm talking to people, but nobody's really listening to me. And sometimes I'm like, is it my German? Like, do I not speak German enough? Maybe I'm not loud enough or assertive enough like the Germans are to get their attention. I simply feel like my voice is not being heard. And I actually have you guys to thank so much for listening to what I have to say and giving me this successful space to really talk about things that I want to talk about, or that I'm passionate about, or that are making me emotional. Number 4, dealing.
I once again definitely agree with her. New ideas, trying new restaurants, doing new things that you haven't done. Like, there's nothing more fun than that, right? Because you don't know what's gonna happen. If I go to the same restaurant again and again, yeah, I know what I'm gonna get. And sometimes knowing what you're gonna get can be satisfying, because but if you never go into the unknown, you don't know if the unknown is better than the known. You could try that new restaurant. where you don't know what you're gonna get. Look at the menu, choose something, and that'd be the best thing you ever ate. And now the old restaurant that you were going to, where you knew what you're gonna get, you're like, oh, your mind's open to trying new things, trying new experiences, trying new ideas. I feel like there's nothing better than that, because there is a big possibility of being disappointed. Where, as in, when you don't try anything, you know what's gonna happen, you know what you're gonna get, so you're never really disappointed. Try something new. There's a possibility of disappointment in there, but you gotta be willing to take that possibility, because there's a possibility of things exceeding your expectations as well.
With all of the Behörden, with all of the legal offices and governmental offices here in Germany. Let's face it, no matter where you live in the world, dealing with Behörden is not going to be a pretty situation. Government offices are awful. However, when you top that off with the fact that some Germans aren't exactly the most friendly people, then it can be an emotional train wreck every single time you go. If you watched my experience at the Ausländerbehörde or the immigration office, I will link it up above for you guys to go check out if you want. I always came out in tears. Similar to my last point about feeling like I'm not being heard, that's basically the feeling that many of us get, whether German or foreign, when you go to one of these offices. No matter what you say, they're gonna follow a script. The biggest problem is that they follow their script until they don't want to follow their script. And then even though you should be getting some sort of document from them, they just decide, no, you know what? I don't like you. I'm not gonna give you this document because you have to do this, this, and this still. But then the person next to you didn't have to do that. There is a little bit of leeway there. And that's the toughest part, is that they can choose when they want to be not so nice or extremely not nice. I really don't like dealing with the Behörden. Number 5. This is something that never really ticked me at the beginning. I really didn't care much about it. That people who are publicly insured and privately insured are treated so incredibly different. We are all human beings, are we not? But unfortunately, the world can be a very cruel place sometimes, and it doesn't always work out that way.
Now, one thing I can't comment on is healthcare, because I'm from America, where it's crime. So I can't critique any kind of healthcare, whether it be private or public. I'm gonna stay away from critiquing that.
And the German health insurance system, although absolutely great, does have its flaws. If you haven't heard about the system yet and you want to know a little bit more information, I recently explained the difference in clear, plain English between public and private and what might be best for you. So why is it bothering me now? It is because I recently gave birth to my daughter, and I had heard Germans complain about this before, about, you know, feeling like they're not equal to somebody who's privately insured, and I understood it and I got it, but I was like, meh, I don't care, you know, it doesn't bother me. But it was really weird when I gave birth, because as a privately insured patient, you usually get access to a private room in the hospital. I was sharing a room with one other girl, and she happened to be privately insured because there were so many women giving birth that there were no private rooms for her. Although she was a little bit disappointed, it was interesting for me because I got to actually see, you know, firsthand what a vast difference it can make being publicly insured or privately insured. The way that we were treated by the same doctors was extremely different. She had better food than me. I think a lot of you already know that you get better food when you're privately insured, but she got this like customized menu. She could pick whatever she wanted. She got these elaborate desserts, and I would get like this dry dark bread with like Hähnchenleberwurst and then like a yogurt or an apple for dessert, whatever. But like sitting there as a new mom watching her like indulge in this cheesecake, fresh cut fruit, Parmesan noodles, chicken schnitzel and stuff, like it was a little bit tough. But she also constantly had different specialists coming in asking, you know, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Is anything sore? Of course you're gonna be sore, you just gave birth. But nobody came in to ask me. They would always come in, the normal midwives would go to her first, ask her how she's doing, be very nice, take the baby from her, give her time that she needed, and then they would come to me and they'd be like, is alles gut? And I'd be like, yeah, but I kind of need help, you know, like the breastfeeding's not working and my baby's crying, and they just like shove her on the boob and be like, done. And I'm like, I think she needs a soother. And they're like, no, we don't do that in the hospital. The other girl, can I have a soother? Yeah, sure. You know, we've got this newest edition that just came in. And I was just like, I thought it was kind of funny. It didn't really bother me. But you know what? Now when I listen to other people complain about the health insurance system, I do understand where they're coming from about like not feeling equal and really hating the fact that you're treated differently. You always gotta take.
I do feel like, I know I said I can't critique it, but I do personally feel like private and public insurance are gonna be different. because I'm assuming, I don't know how healthcare works in Germany, but I'm assuming if you're paying private health, I know public healthcare is free, right? It comes out of your taxes, I believe. Whereas private healthcare, you're probably paying those healthcare taxes, but like also paying for private healthcare, so also paying monthly or however they do it, but paying more for private healthcare. So I feel like you're paying more. That's gonna come with more benefits. You're gonna be treated to a different standard. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing, but I'm saying like you can't expect to be, I guess, treated equally as someone who's giving more. You know what I'm saying? If it makes sense in a way. If it makes sense in a way. Maybe that's my American mindset, but that's how I see that situation. I wouldn't expect, I'd be like, well, they're paying for private healthcare insurance. You know what I'm saying? Our insurance coming out of our taxes. We're not paying anything out of pocket yearly besides the taxes. So I'm just happy that I can get in here and get this free healthcare. You know what I'm saying? But maybe it's just me.
Take the good with the bad. That's the way life is, no matter where you live. But I thought that these 5 points might be interesting to you. But what about you? What bothers you about living in Germany? Are you a German? What bothers you? Come on, even the Germans can add to this video. You got to admit, you like to complain a little bit. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. As always, vielen, vielen lieben Dank und bis später.
Even Germans like to complain a little bit. That's all we got for this one. You guys got a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. It's your boy Neal. Out.